Hello, beautiful friends, and welcome. This is Gina from the Rebookery channel. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited today. I am going to share something with you guys. I'm going to do a tutorial. So this wonderful Instagram friend messaged me last night and asked about a video that I had done this summer. I think it was the little mini binder junk journals. And in one of those junk journals, it was actually an old photo album, and it had the waterfall. It had 2 waterfall pages. And I remember I stuck like little cards in those little waterfall things. And it was just really cute, and it was unique. And since then, I have not found another photo album like that. But anyway, she was asking me if I could refer her back to that video because she's wanting to do some sort of a waterfall effect in a journal that she's making. So I got to thinking about it, and I was like, that was so cool, that waterfall. How could I make something simple, easy, where you don't have to go out and buy supplies, but still get that same effect? And whoops, this is what I came up with. And guys, I made it out of 2 envelopes. That's all you need, 2 envelopes. I'm going to show you how to make this. And the cool thing about this, just like in that video with that photo album, is that they were pockets, like you could slide things in and out. Now those were photo album pockets, so they were actually see-through, but these are going to be just as cool. And I'm going to show you how you can make some little peepee hole things through there. So like this one, there's a tag that I just made and I stuck in, and then this actually was an accident, and so it turned into a little hole, and now you can see inside the little pocket. If I can get the stuff back in, there we go. So let me show you how I made this, and then I'm going to actually make one of these to use in some journaling that I want to do. Okay, so I would make these with my kiddos all the time at school, but we wouldn't use envelopes. The kids would use paper. And I remember when I taught 4th grade, we would make these and we would just call them a flip-flap book. And the flip-flap book they made was their place in the universe. And so we would make this book of these papers, and they would flip, like, you know, like these, they would flip. And we would start with the biggest at the bottom. So like this was their universe, and then their galaxy, and then the solar system, and then their planet, and then their hemisphere, and blah, 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 blah. And it would get all the way up to the smallest one was them, their address. And so this was, I would use this when I was teaching place, like they would have to know their place in the world. And so they were cool little flips, and we just called them our flip-flap book. So this is kind of a knockoff of that. Okay, so the first thing I did was I just took 2, and I'm using long envelopes. You can experiment and try different sizes of envelopes. Lord knows I have enough envelopes because I just cleared out my local thrift store, and they had 2 tubs of envelopes, and so with no cards that went with them. So I grabbed all of them. So I'm going to experiment with some different sizes, but for now, let's just use 2 long envelopes. And what I did was I just glued the lids down, or glued the little flap down. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this step before I actually fold them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little sliver of the edge off, and you can use regular scissors. You could put it through a paper trimmer. I'm just using my decal edge scissors because this is what I have on hand right now, because my room is a hot mess. I'm trying to organize, reorganize. I need to get into some journal making mode, and those ephemera packs make my room a big time mess. So I've been working on reorganizing and everything. So okay, so then I just opened. So now I have 2 envelopes that are open like this. Okay, now you have to decide what side you want your envelopes to open. Do you want them open on the left, or do you want them open on the right? I'm fine with them opening on the right. So you're going to take your envelopes and just kind of stagger them and you'll just kind of play around with how much width you want in between your flaps, and then you're going to fold it over. Now, if you want them to be perfect, you know, you can measure them. Nothing I do is perfect, so I'm okay with it being just like this. I like it to be actually imperfect. And then I'm just going to smush it down. And so essentially what I've done is I've just taken 2 envelopes and set them inside of each other. Now, this one that I made today, I had to make with whatever I had on hand at school, so I did not have very many supplies, so that's why this one looks a little funky and junky. But I actually used an envelope that had been sent to me, so I had really, you know, I opened it when I was reading the letter that had been sent to me, but then the other envelope I used was a new envelope. I like the envelope that I've already used. That's kind of cool, just the tattered and the torn edge. But this is a no-sew one, and I just put it together with staples, and then this is just a little clear tab that, you know, you put like on file folders and stuff. Again, I was just using whatever I had at my desk there at school, so I just stapled that across the top. So this one, you can stitch it, you can staple it, you could hand sew it if you want, and I don't have any of these right now, so I'm gonna just put something else on the top here. So let me go grab something. If you want to decorate this, you can do it at any point in time. I actually made this one first and then I went back and decorated it. But if you wanted to decorate your envelopes first and then put it together, I mean, that's totally up to you. I'm a fly by my seat of the pants type of girl, so I just am going to go with it and then decorate it once I've got it all put together. So I'm just going to make a little tab here. And again, I don't even know where my scissors are, so I'm just going to tear that paper. And we'll see. My stapler may not go through this, because again, I can't find my big stapler, so we'll just have to use this little stapler. Oh, it is going to go through. Yay! Okay, so there's 2 staples. Go ahead and put a 3rd and a 4th. All right, so there you go. And so now what I did was I went ahead and just kind of folded right here so that it had a crease in it, and it just made it easier for it to open and close. Okay, there you go. There's your Waterfall pocket journal card, I guess is what I want to call it. So you could do all kinds of things with this. One of the things that I thought about doing was using the envelopes that have the little window in them. That would be really cool because the window would show up wherever you folded it, and then you could see through to the inside. I also thought about using like my circle punch and doing a couple of different things. So I'll go to this one right here. So this is just a little pocket that I have right there. I don't have anything in it yet. So I was thinking about taking my circle punch, going about halfway through, and then it makes just that little, I love this little half circles because it kind of lets whatever you're using inside the pocket, like a little journaling card or whatever, it kind of lets that peek through. So I love that. And then this one, like I said, this was actually an accident, and then it turned into a heart. And so I just went ahead and ripped the rest of the paper off. But I think it's kind of cool because it lets the security part of the envelope show through, which is really awesome. But you could also put something in here and be able to see it. And then the other thing I thought was, and I don't know if this is going to work, this is a total experiment. So take my circle punch. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I was going to say take my circle punch and go all the way through and see if I could get a cutout. Let me try this. See if that will work. Ooh, that one is going to work. Okay, so I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go like this. Let's figure this out. Don't want to do, oh, wait. Okay. Now I'm deciding. So I think what I want to do is I only want one side with a peep hole type thing. Yeah. Like that. Ooh, I like that. And I would just like kind of go over this sloppy with a little bit of an outline. And then you could put, if you had a journal card that would fit in here. Oop, let me fold this a little bit. Or a photo, if you had a photo, that could kind of be cool. So that's kind of cool. So there's the front, there's the back. And then this big one down here, it just so happened that it actually fit, I think this is a 4x6. And so a 4x6 would fit in here. So yeah, and then I could put this one back in. Ooh, and you know what? So tie some ribbon on it. Okay, so there's that. So one of the things I noticed when I was going back and looking at the envelope was where they were sealed, like on the corners, there was a place where there wasn't any glue. So you could glue it, or you could take some washi. And so I was thinking about taking some washi and just kind of finishing this edge right here. And folding that over. And then again, I'm too lazy to go find my scissors. So I'm just gonna pull them off. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of cool. And it just kind of gives a little extra reinforcement down here at the bottom. So this is a no-sew version. And I could go back in and add, I'm obsessed with, I love produce stickers. And I just have these sitting around my kitchen because every time I see a piece of fruit or a vegetable, I pull the sticker off and I just can't bear to throw it away. So anyway, stick those on. Yeah, and then this was a little piece of paper that I stuck in here, but it actually doesn't fit. It's too small, so that was why it keeps flying off. But anyway, this is my Waterfall pocket journaling card that I made from 2 envelopes. And here is the one that we made together. And now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one, but this time I'm going to do for real journaling in it. Here's some envelopes that came from my grandma and grandpa. Ooh, I like that. And looks like it came from their bank, because this was the bank that they used to go to. So I think I want to use these. And these have like, it's not even like cellophane or anything. It's like, this is like that glassine material, and you know, like glassine envelopes. So I think I'm going to use these. And they're pretty old. So I don't know. Yeah, ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Do I want to use that one? Do I want to? This one's really old because this was when, this was my grandparents. So this is 1924. This is my grandparents' parents. So this is my grandpa's parents. They owned a cement company in Fredonia, New York. So this was an envelope from them. I feel like I want to use it. I feel like I want to use both of these. Ooh, maybe I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I think I'm going to use these because the journaling I want to do is actually about my grandparents. So these are long, skinny ones again. And I think on this one, I'm not going to do no sew. I'm going to do sew. I'm going to sew these because I want, do I want it to go this way or do I want it to go this way? Because I want to reinforce it. And maybe like that? No, how do I want to do this? I'm figuring out which side I want to show. There we go. Okay, after all of that, Okay, so that's how it's going to be folded, which means, I think I'll take that off, which means it's going to slide in and out the left-hand side, which I'm okay with. And then on this one, looks like the envelope was opened this way. So I think what I'm going to do is trim this edge right here. And I think what I'm going to do is use I don't know. This is delicate paper. I don't know how this is going to work. We'll try it out. Let's see what it does. It might be too old to work. Oh, actually, pretty good. So I found these green bins. They're like 1978 avocado green. I got 4 of them, 2 short ones and 2 tall ones for $5 for the whole set, and came home and stuck my paper punches in them because I was running out of places to put my paper punches, and I feel like I'm always toting them around, like I'm taking them to the kitchen table and stuff, and I always drop them and everything else. So these little containers are kind of cool, and they're actually lightweight, so that works for me. Okay, it's not perfect, but I got it. It's going to be okay. And then I'm going to stitch this, and I think I'm going to stitch this. I'm going to stitch this, and I'm going to stitch this because they need some reinforcement. So I'm going to go stitch, and I'll be right back. I'm back. So I actually did more than just a little bit of stitching. I actually did quite a bit. When I got over there, I don't know, there's just something about all these fabrics kind of remind me of my grandma, and so I just couldn't stop. Like, there were so many memories. Every time I sit down at my sewing table, there are so many memories of my grandma that it was just really hard to pick just a few fabrics. So here's what I have, and this one's kind of bulky because I actually stitched right along here, and then I went in and I stitched here, and then I stitched here again because I wanted to put this fabric on it. So there's my waterfall. Now I have to decide what I want to put in it. And if you guys remember, I'm going to open it from the left-hand side, which I'm okay with because, well, that's the way I made it, so I'm going to have to be okay with it, but that's all right. Oh, I also have, there's a big rip right here, so I think what I'm going to do is put a sticker or something over that. Pull my washi tapes out here. Maybe just even, ooh, a washi tape. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. I like this one. So just thick enough that it'll cover that hole, but I don't want it to cover up the stamp. And I'm okay if it tears, if it's not perfect. I love not perfect. Not perfect is the way I live my life. Definitely not perfect. And then I think I'm going to do this one too. So working on those ephemera packs, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for all your love and support and everything, your enthusiasm about those ephemera packs. The kitchen one made me think of my grandma, but when I did the sewing one, oh my gosh, like I sat down at my sewing machine yesterday and I was just like, God, I wish my grandma was here. And I hadn't really thought that since she passed. There hasn't ever really been a time where I was like, oh man, I wish my grandma were here. I mean, I miss her, but you know, it's never been one of those times where I'm like, God, where is she? She needs to be here because she would love helping me with those ephemera packs, and she would love seeing what I was doing. And I don't know, just something about sitting down working on those packs made me really think about her and really miss her. So when I figured out how to make these waterfall things, I was like, oh my gosh, I have all those old envelopes. Wouldn't it be cool to make one and then put it in? And I don't know if I've showed you this or not, so let me show you. So this is my grandma's scrapbook. I've actually taken it apart because it was really falling apart, but this was my grandma's scrapbook that my mom gave me, and she just gave this to me this summer. And it has all of her honeymoon stuff in there. So they went to Niagara Falls when they got married on October 27th. Oh my gosh, that's coming up, in 1943. So my plan, and I started it this summer and then I just never finished it, but my plan is to take this scrapbook, and I pulled all the pages out and I pulled all the pictures and the newspaper clippings and everything to rebind this. So I'm going to have to put a spine on it, and I'm going to bind it. And what I think I'm going to do is just make this a scrapbook about my grandparents, my mom's parents, my mom's grandma, because I do remember my mom's grandma. I spent a lot of time with her. And then my dad's parents, because I miss them extremely bad too. Because they were the collectors and they were the antiquers. They were the ones that went to sales all the time. And then my mom's parents, they were the makers. They had a donut shop. They had a woodworking shop. They were phenomenal cooks. They had gardens. So I had makers and I had collectors, and that's kind of what I came from. Oh my gosh, that would be a cool layout right there, where I came from, makers and collectors. Anyway, whatever. Oh my God, I'm all over the place. So I'm thinking that this little thing is going to go in this scrapbook, and then I have all the stuff that I pulled out of the scrapbook. I've just kind of collected and stuck in this tub of all kinds of goodness. And these are the things that I want to use. There's my grandma. These are the things that I want to use in this scrapbook. So I know I definitely want to use like her picture. I want to use some pictures that I took that, well, actually I didn't take. These are pictures that somebody took, and must be Grandma and Grandpa actually took this, of all of their little trinkets that they have and their wallpaper. And I know on the inside of my little journal, I told you guys the fabric that I used on the inside of that little journal reminded me of this wallpaper. So these would be things that I would like to stick in here. So like this would probably fit. Ooh, that's cool. And then I could actually put Grandma's picture here, and I could actually do some journaling and put, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Put that on there. I think what I want to do today, though, because this is going to take me a while to figure out what I want to put in this. But I think what I want to do today is I want to put some journaling. I want to do some journaling and just write about how I've been thinking about my grandma and stuff lately. The first thing I have to do is make some journaling cards. And I figured out really quickly that because those envelopes were so old and so fragile, I really needed a journal card that was quite hefty. So I found some packaging from a paper pack that I had, and the weight is perfect because it's nice and sturdy. And then the colors worked really well with the aging of those envelopes. So the muted pink and that yellowish gold and the brown, those seem to work really well. So I'm just totally eyeballing this here and cutting down the paper into sizes that can easily be slipped in and out of those waterfall pockets. And the trim that I'm doing is just some fabric ribbon that I got. I think it might even be Easter. I think it has some little bunnies on it. But I liked the pink, and it was right there next to me, so it was easily accessible, and I just grabbed it. And then I'm just stapling it onto the little cards. And then I'm using my circle punch because I found that with the envelopes being so fragile, it was kind of hard slipping the cards in and out. So to make that a little easier, I just cut my little half circle, and I only did it in one side of the pockets. Alrighty, so there they are. There are my 3 waterfall pocket journal cards. There's the crazy one that I made at school today. There's the fancy one that I sewed a bunch of fabric on, and I'm going to journal about my grandparents and stick it in my grandparents' scrapbook. And then there is the tutorial one over on the right-hand side, where I just used 2 plain envelopes. Guys, try this out. Let me know how it works for you. Give me some hints, tips, and tricks as you do it. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.